Hey there, decided to go live a few minutes early. Uh, Stuntman has a few minutes before he gets ready, so I figured this way I could start it, say hi to people, let people know what's going on. Uh, I can't remember how this idea came about, but I know we're both fans of this movie, Runaway. Yes, it has the heat-seeking bullets, bait, which is this gun here, which I like that aspect. I like the way it's shot in the movie. Sadly, this is not on Blu-ray in the US, but as you can tell, it is an overseas Blu-ray. It might be region free though, for those who are fans of the film. I can't remember. I'm using on this region free Blu-ray player, so maybe it is. But hey, Luis Silverwings, Dark Metal, everyone, just saying hi before we start the program, and so to speak. And hopefully this works.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you sound good.
Cool. So do you. So I forget how this idea came about. Did I bring it up, or did you, or both? I forget about doing a commentary on this film. I
Um,
have
I, I
I
think you
already
just
forgot.
I think you mentioned in a passing, and then I was like, oh man, that's a really cool movie. Like, I like it too. And
Yeah.
we just started talking about how much we both like it. And I think that's how the idea kind of spawned.
But hey, people in the chat, Darmel Spiders, Civil Wings, Devin, hello everybody.
Yeah, what's up,
And
David?
I'll wait a minute or two, see if more people come in and such, as in the chat. So before I start, how did you first see this movie? Because I saw it renting on VHS tape, and I didn't always enjoyed it to this day because of we'll get into it, but I like the way the future is showcasing this. It's like in a weird way realistic, in a
Hmm.
weird way where it's not iRobot type of future. It's more if there were machines helping, they would look like this. They would
Yeah.
look this kind of just more. They wouldn't be as high tech. It wouldn't be as futuristic. It would be nuts and bolts type of way.
Hmm. I think I first saw this on maybe early '90s, like cable run. Like it was on all the time, and later on, like into the '90s, I didn't see this as much. It wasn't on as much. I mean, I guess it would be because it was such a '80s kind of hidden gem. Because like this, oh, there you go, on TV. Um, it didn't do too well, which is
No,
unfortunate.
well, it got overshadowed by the Terminator
Hmm.
because those around the same time, same year.
And
People
2010.
thought this would be the year we made content. That's right.
Hmm.
I just think of Terminator because they're both about take place out of with the robot stuff. Just one had Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I think
Right.
people assume this would be a bigger hit because it's Tom Selleck after Madden PI. He's still doing Madden PI. It's such a hit show,
Hmm.
but he was never that big of a movie star other than 3 Men and a Baby, maybe Quigley Down Under. But he didn't really have a lot of big hits, which is too bad because I always enjoyed him as an actor. Uh, and I know real quickly he was going to be Indiana Jones, but then
Yeah.
the people who did Man and PI said, no, you can't do it because you don't start doing the show. But they got delayed so long that the movie was completed, so he could have done both. But the Man PI guy screwed him over. Because like, oh, you gotta wait, we're starting the show, and then it got delayed so long that he could have done the movie and the show. And how big of a star that would have been. I love Harrison Ford, but I do think Tom Selleck would have done a good job as Indiana Jones. I really do believe that. Although Harrison Ford is Harrison Ford, but I think Tom Selleck would have done as good of a job. I really do believe that. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the studio wanted this to be pretty big. I mean, you had Tom Selleck, who was already an established guy. Um, Someone with the popularity of Gene Simmons, of course. They figured, hey, that's like a perfect good guy, bad guy showdown type of thing. And then Crichton's name was on there. So they were thinking this was going to be a big hit. But you're right. It did get
Yeah,
overshadowed by Terminator, which I believe came out in October. I think this was November, and then December would have been 2010. And then even a few months previous, you had like the I think it's the third Star Trek movie. So, it,
Sounds about right.
and all three of those, oddly enough, are science fiction, and they all did
Yeah.
well, but this one didn't, and it is science fiction. So, um, it was some pretty good stuff in '84 movie wise. That's a no brainer. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're big fans of like everything that came out that year for the most part. Um, it just it had a tough time. Like I don't think any sort of marketing or any name value or anything was going to beat what it was going up against because it's a really fun movie. But I mean, Terminator's Terminator, you know. So
Well, I
it's
think that's what happened. Terminator came out, and then this film got compared to it, which wasn't fair, but it got compared to it. And then I think the reviews were probably a bit more harsh. Maybe audiences were a bit more harsh
yeah.
because we just saw this film called Terminator, and yeah, it was a year where we had Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters, Temple of Doom, Gremlins, The Karate Kid, The First Police Academy, Star Trek 3, like you mentioned.
Hmm.
So yeah, you definitely had a lot of big films during that year. Unlike this year.
Yeah, that's that's a whole other topic of
Yeah,
conversation.
Exorcist Believer. Someone mentioned in the chat that trailer came out. Yeah, Two Girls, One Possession. I wish it was called that.
That's what it should
Two Girls,
be.
One Cup sequel. Fucking. The generic trailer I thought I saw looked better than the actual trailer I saw. They both sucked, but
Yeah, like
it certainly
we
did.
we probably shouldn't get into the whole Exorcist believer thing because I could talk about this all
Yeah.
day. It what the hell? So wait,
So
you're trying to say like so it's Pazuzu, right? But now he's possessing two people at the same time. That's like the whole gimmick here. How does that work?
two is better than one.
Apparently,
It's twice the power.
I guess.
I don't know. I'm the wrong audience for it.
We had that
Doing well,
conversation
Louise?
last time
Yeah,
about it,
yeah.
but I kind of see what he's doing, like having seen the actual trailer now. Yes, you're right. He wants to like have it appeal to the Conjuring crowd, Insidious crowd. Um,
Yeah.
I could see that, but it's also like it's trying to appeal to everyone. It's trying to do a lot of things, but I don't think they're working really well.
Nothing
That's just
well.
right. That's just my opinion. But
Well, that's
I
David Gordon Green's track record. Do whatever and not do it well.
I
Look
would
at
say
Halloween
definitely,
films.
yeah, in the horror genre, yeah. I mean, it's
The
I
horror
think
genre, yeah.
he's trying to appeal to the mass. Like I we're the minority. I mean, it's not made for us. I don't think. Of course, if you can get the horror fans in there, cool. Like more money for the studio. But
It's
it's
made for people with bad taste. I know what I mean. I don't care.
no, I mean that's hey, look, you're you're not wrong.
I'm
Hey,
being
it's
mean. I don't care. At this point, I'm tired of mediocrity getting the fucking pass. You know, people didn't give this movie a pass, and I guarantee this is a lot fucking better than Exorcist. I want to believe, or I'm a believer, or all this shit.
yeah. So also with that, how do you stretch that across three movies? Are they going to continue a possession of two girls for three movies? Or do they have Linda Blair come in and she's going to get
No,
possessed
it'll
again?
be no. The next one will be a whole town is possessed, and then the third one will be the entire country's being possessed like a virus. It's up to Reagan.
Yeah.
She's the exorcist now. Bring back Linda Blair and her old ass, and she's gonna save the country
I
by
could totally
unleashing
see
the
all that happening. Oh man.
possession as a virus. So they'll do that.
Yeah.
And
I
they'll say it's based on the C to the O to the VID. It's based on that. You know? I could
Yeah.
see it. I don't know. I don't care what they do. Just leave.
Now,
Goodbye.
are you a big fan of the original, or it's just like an okay movie to you?
The only one I liked is the third one.
Okay, so
I
you're
just I respect the first one. But when I saw it as a kid, I fell asleep twice. It's just not for me. I appreciate the acting, but just the shock value. Okay, she pissed herself. She vomited. She played with herself with a crucifix. It just isn't my kind of movie. Like Exorcist 3, I much more appreciate. I appreciate the story more, the acting more, uh, even the finale more. Exorcist 3 is the only one I like.
okay. Yeah, I was just
So I'm
curious.
not the audience for it.
Gotcha. Yeah, like this isn't the only one. I think we also have what's it called? I just saw it the other day. The first Omen, which is a prequel to the 1976 Omen film. Um I wanted to get your thought on that. Like
But The Omen was the prequel.
no,
Was it the kid born?
right. Well, I mean, he's born in the first movie, but my thing is like
So how's there?
that's
It's
that's what
a
I'm gonna ask you.
conception.
That's my whole question. Like, what do you think about just the concept of that even happening? Like, what's the point there?
The seed will be of 666. Like look who's talking. Beginning when it goes in through that, but they all look like sixes. Is
It's
that what it is? I mean, what's the first Omen? I
well,
thought the first Omen was the first Omen.
well, the in the original film, you have him finding out that like the kid's not from his wife, basically.
Yeah,
It comes from is it a jackal or something like that? Um, so I would imagine that it's like the church getting everything in order, or maybe Satan's like minions, like the people that are like put there to help Damien. I don't know. Like that's my whole thing. Like I saw it happening, but I'm like, what could this even be? I know they're milking it for all it's worth. You got to do something when you have that kind of IP. I get it. It's gonna happen.
you don't have to do anything. That's the point. You don't have to do anything.
No, I mean to them, they think that. Like, of course, to them, they're like, well, we have this. This is gonna make something. We got to put this out. Now, of course, I don't want it. I'm not even that big of an Omen fan. I like the movies; they're fine, but
What was the
like,
last one that was a hit, Omen wise?
I mean, I think the remake did pretty decent. I think the fourth one is
Well,
like a TV
that's
movie.
sad.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen that since like 2006, so I can't
It's a
really comment
Xerox of
on
the
it.
original, so you did see it. It's a Xerox. This is that same
It's
movie as
true.
the original.
That's
And
true.
I'm not a big Omen guy either. I could maybe watch two for the kills, but I'm not a big Omen guy.
Mm,
I don't really love any of them.
hmm
Omen 4 was Dominique Elton and Gerard, who did Halloween 5, and he got fired during the making of it. So that says a lot about him. He did Halloween 5 and he got fired from Omen 4, so it shows how talented he is.
Oh man. Hold on. I'm gonna get while we're talking, let me get Runway queued up. I don't even have it ready. Give me a second.
No problem.
Okay.
But hey there, Alex. Hey there, everybody in the chat. Austin Wilcott. Somebody got buttered because I said most of the Exorcist sequels suck. Well, you're right. I mean, Exorcist 2. Rated Harlan, maybe I can laugh at it, but it's not good. The other one, Dominion. Eh, I don't. I mean, they're prequels. I get it, but not sequels. But it's like, don't care. Like I said, Exorcist 3 is the only one I like. But hey, Gary Blow Jr. Hey there, Alex. We're doing okay. Hope you're doing well. Austin Wilcott likes Exorcist 3. Cool. So do I. But yeah, we'll be. Thank you, Dark Metal. I look forward to that request. And yeah, be ready when you are.
Mm-hmm. I have it at 0 right now, so I'm ready.
Cool. So for those who do follow along, either after the fact or does the stream will be up? We're at the beginning. Our countdown. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. And we have the TriStar horse logo.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which I always remember there's a Richard Pryor film where he narrates over this. He's like, fucking wings, what's going on? And you're a crash. He's like, fucking white horse. It's a bad movie. The Another You is like, that's like the only good film. I mean, good scene in that movie.
Gotcha.
It was the
Now,
last one Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder did together, and Richard Pryor was very heavy in his afflictions. It's very depressing to watch.
oh man, okay.
He did a very unique Jerry Goldsmith music. I love Jerry Goldsmith, and he did a great job with this, but it feels different from his other movies. The Rambo
Mhm.
trilogy, Leviathan, Star Trek the Motion Picture, and so forth.
I think that's what he said he was going for, just because of the type of film that Crichton was trying to do. And speaking of him, were you a fan of any of his movies other than Runaway? What are your thoughts on Michael Crichton? Just his
I did
directorial
like.
film work.
I'm trying to think of the films he's done. I like Westworld.
Yeah.
I did
Okay.
like Westworld. I try to think of what other films he's done. I know TriStar is not really around anymore. He was asking about Civil Wings. They pretty much went away. Yeah, they're not really around. I mean, maybe Sony would use a little bit of them, but they're not really around anymore. But yeah, Michael Crichton, I like Westworld. I'm trying to think what else he did. I'd have to look
Um,
up his filmography.
trying to think myself. The one he did after this was Physical Evidence, I think. Do you remember that one?
That's Burt Reynolds. I barely remember that film, and I know I've seen it.
Yeah, Burt Reynolds, Ned Beatty, I think.
And then let's see the films he did. I'd have, yeah, I'd have to. Is this the same? Yeah, this is. Oh, the Andromeda Strain. I didn't mind. I think he. Well, no, he didn't direct it. That was based on his book.
Hmm.
It's just showing the stuff he wrote. Is that showing the stuff he directed on his? Damn it.
I think Looker was another
Oh,
one.
yeah, I wasn't big on Looker. Looker didn't do much for me, to be perfectly honest. It was
Mhm.
okay. It was all right. But one of the reasons I do like the film is I do like Tom Selleck. He's very likable as the lead, and it was great to see him in this kind of picture, in this
Mhm.
kind of flick. And because usually he's known for westerns, Quigley Down Under, which is a good one. He has a good sniper type rifle from back in the day. I forget what type of rifle that is that he had, but I always thought that was really cool. And takes place in Australia, which was interesting. And this whole setup where it's about what if machines would do in daily stuff, but that's why I liked the down and dirty way they look. It doesn't look like the future of iRobot. Like if this is
Mhm.
how, at least in '84, like this is more rational in how it would look to do
Right.
these daily tasks. I thought it kind of made the story a bit more easy to swallow. If that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, his whole character is really interesting as far as like his job is to sort of police all these different things that are going on with all the robots and stuff. Um, is like it seems like he's on a mission like for a few bunch
Make
of
you
reasons.
ready for your best strong. I actually I don't mind that song, but no, my favorite is "Blaze of Glory." That's my favorite Bon Jovi song. Young
Oh,
Guns too.
oh yeah, that's right.
And yes, Tom Selleck was in Three Minute Baby. That was directed by Leonard Nimoy, who was Spock. That was after this movie. He did that. But yeah, that's what, like you were saying. I do like the character. I like that they give him the affliction that he's afraid of heights, which is
Hmm.
incorporated at the third. I do like that portion as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and you also see like him how he cares about his son throughout the movie. I mean, he gives it more of an emotional anchor, which again plays a bigger part toward the end as well.
mhm.
Um, yeah, he wasn't one dimensional at all. I mean, for a movie like this, you probably could have just had like some sort of a badass guy like running around blowing everything up, but that's not the story they were trying to tell, and I appreciate the character.
Yeah, it makes it seem as if this is, a typical day. Like
Hmm.
it's in the future, but everything looks like it would be today. So it makes it a bit more relatable.
Yeah, and then they predicted so many things. I mean, we have so much of this stuff now. I think the only thing that they're missing are like the flying cars, which we do have now.
Were there flying cars in this movie? Well, I guess
No,
there are kind of, yeah.
no-
Well,
well, are there?
one. Oh, I thought you meant this movie, like they predicted flying cars. I'm like, were there flying cars? I guess I'm thinking of not flying cars, the flying drones that they have at the when they
Right.
hover in that car chase,
Yeah.
but
The
not flying cars. I'm like, where do you
right.
go flying cars?
No,
There's
I
flying
mean,
cars in the
like
movie?
they predicted
Can't I
everything
send
but
them?
that. Like that's like we have that
Oh,
now, but that's like the only thing they everything else they got right. The smaller drones that clean up the mess around the house, the drone that like sort of serves you, which you have that in restaurants now and in some
oh
shopping
yeah.
like supermarkets and stuff like that stuff's around. So they got all that and then the whole internet, email type of thing, I guess tablets in a way. Um but yeah, we do have flying cars now, which is really interesting. What are your thoughts on flying cars? I saw like they have pre-orders up for some right now. They're all about like $300,000, which of course that's a luxury item for the rich. But do you
I'll
want
be
things
honest.
flying over your head?
That's why I was confused. I'm like, there's flying cars. I didn't even know about this till you just said it.
There is.
What?
Hmm.
This is like a test scene, and then like someone gets in, and then they're gonna like crash and burn in 5 minutes.
Well, they're trying to get them like approved legally. How that's gonna happen, I would imagine you're gonna have to get some sort of, like, secondary license, maybe like a pilot license of sorts, pass classes so that you can be certified to actually drive it. But it's really expensive. You can only pre-order them for now, but, just the thought of, like, having more things flying over my head that can potentially land on me and kill me is a little scary.
That's just a complete catastrophe waiting to happen. Then
I think so too, yeah.
you, you think the sub was a big catastrophe
Oh,
when
man.
that car lands in a damn hospital or a damn fast food place or something? Tell one thing, don't have a rude awakening.
Hopefully, it's not controlled by a PlayStation controller.
You would think. But yeah, the cast does a good job. Cynthia Rhodes here. I
Mhm.
don't remember what else she's been in. And this guy here, he's been in quite a few films. I remember him. He was in the Sylvester Stallone Daylight. He was in that
Right.
film.
Mhm. Stan Shaw. That's his name.
Yeah, he was in the Nicolas Cage film Snake Eyes. He was the boxer.
Mhm.
And then like the kid, Tom Selleck's kid. He was the same kid that would be Stallone's kid in Over the Top,
That's right, yeah.
which came out after this. Same year as I
Mhm.
think Three Men and a Baby, 80s. Well, actually, I'm trying to think when. I think 87 Over the Top came out. Trying
I
to
think it
remember.
was
I'm bad with
87.
years. And of course, Gene Simmons, which is my favorite role of his. He's just so much fun as the villain.
Yeah.
Just deliciously evil at every step. Like he's got the, like looking like this,
Mhm.
and like the Joker smile, and
Yeah, it's a great performance. I mean, it's still underrated to this day. I don't think he'll ever get the credit that he deserves for it.
And I
Uh,
read a written interview with Tom Selleck. He's proud of the
mhm,
movie, so I don't know why no one has done an actual interview with him.
mhm.
Because there is a written interview, and there you could try to find it, but he's like, "Yeah, that's a lot. That movie's a lot of fun. You know, it didn't do well, but this film. I mean, I have a Blu-ray, but it's not a U.S. Blu-ray.
Mhm.
It's as you tell, it's got different language on it,
Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah.
and I mean, I don't know if this is region free. I mean, there's a B there, so maybe not. But it just I popped it in, and it worked fine without me messing with it. That's why usually I have to mess with it because it's a region free, but I have to like hit a button.
Mhm.
But it didn't do that. It just did it automatically. So I don't know. Like there's a B right there.
Yeah.
Listen, I know you can't see it, but it might be. I don't know. But it's from Koch Media. So, but it still doesn't have a release in the U.S., which is too bad. At least on Blu-ray. But that's because a lot of people hate it.
I
But
think he's got a channel on YouTube as well.
who does?
The Koch Media guy. Is it?
Oh, okay.
I think his name is Christian Koch. I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he has a lot of like really good stuff on there.
Very cool. And this is this is easily one of my favorite scenes. I always, ever since I saw this as a kid, I always thought there was a lot of good suspense
Hmm.
in this whole sequence. Because I like the way Michael Crichton has like you said ahead of its time, this whole drone thing. This is
Hmm.
something they would do. Oh, it's dated. It's 1984. What do you expect? Like, it's 84 technology, 84. What do you expect them to go to the future and grab some shit and then come back in
Right.
order to make the shit? But I love this whole procedure and like the POV of going through. And I thought Jerry Goldsmith and the way it's this build up, I thought, at least to me, there was some nice suspense to it.
Hmm.
I don't know how you feel about the whole sequence.
Oh, it's one of the better ones in the movie for sure. Um, Between this and the like the alleyway sequence with the bullet,
Yeah.
you know which one I'm talking about. Yeah. So
The
between
heat
those two,
seekers,
the
yeah.
yes, those are some of my favorites. It's weird too because like if you look like on the poster, like he has the gun, but he never uses it in the movie. He's just holding it on the poster
Right.
because I believe the only person with it is Simmons' character.
Yeah, it is.
And speaking of guns as well, I think they predicted the guns as well, like that cops carry. Like they didn't have those back then. I think that everybody for the most part had like revolvers and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think they're
someone
all
mentioned that you have the heat-seeking bullets, and politicians wanted to ban them, but that is there are smart bullets that change direction midair,
mhm.
which is crazy. Although I can't think of a recent film that has incorporated that into it. I wonder if there's a reason, or I can't think of a recent film.
No, I can't think of one either.
Can you imagine that though, having literally as it says, a bullet with your name on it? Uh,
That kind of technology would have to stay under wraps though. That's the type of thing you really don't want to hit like the streets in any form.
oh, and I'm an idiot. The kid is not the kid from Over the Top. It's Joey Kramer from Fly the Navigator. That's the kid.
I'm gonna have to look him up. I thought it was him.
Yeah, I the more I thought, I know I got that wrong. No, that's It's Joey Kramer. He starred in that Fly the Navigator with the Pee Wee Herman alien voiced ship.
Okay.
It's Joey Kramer,
Okay.
which is a good documentary, Life After the Navigator, about his issues with his bank robbery that he did, and then his penance that he did, and he got his life fixed together. So, yeah, it is Joey Kramer.
Okay.
But those kids look alike. Forgive me.
You're
I
fine.
think those kids look alike. So I don't know why I just did bad with names lately. It's like I keep thinking it's one person. Surprised I didn't say this starred Harrison Ford. So,
Oh, we just saw
I don't know if
Simmons
it's
a minute
yeah,
ago. Did you
yeah.
see the other movie that he did? I think it was a year or two after this with Rutger Hauer.
Yes, Wanted Dead or Alive.
Yes,
I do
that's it.
like that film.
Yes, it's really good. Also,
I don't know if it's
good
yeah,
performance too.
yeah. I don't know if it says what year this takes place in.
I think somewhere on a computer or a file or something like that. I think it says 1991.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
it's not that far off from 84.
And yeah, universe where Harrison Ford is in Runaway and Tom Selleck was in Indiana Jones. I could see it.
Yeah, I could.
This is a funny comment. You can tell it's sci-fi. Culture's free by the press. Yeah, that's the more sci-fi thing about it. Everything else is real. That's the most sci-fi stuff about it. But yeah, I like the. I don't. It felt tense with the baby in jeopardy and
Hmm.
this dumbass reporter getting himself killed. There you go, you dumbass.
Yeah.
Should have followed him.
Oh, we forgot Kirstie Alley. We didn't mention her.
Yeah, I was gonna when she came into it, but yeah, rest in peace to her.
Yeah.
She passed away.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
I think what makes it work is the way is the scene is lit as well as the music
Hmm.
and Tom Selleck sells the uneasiness of the whole situation.
Yeah, definitely.
Boom.
Those massive,
I
like,
love
hole-
that super chat, random one, but Bobby's a very nice guy. Um, if my name, if that figure was talking about anything, I would think I really lost my mind with all the shitty movies and have to be committed. So whether it's talking about Alien 3 or this movie, whatever, if that happened, if it'd be, I mean, I'd be the son of Sam. Instead of a dog talking to me, it's the fucking Danny Glover figure talking to me. Maybe I'd go find Seth Rogen while he's doing the Ninja Turtle movie and punch him in the face. Tell him that Danny Glover told me to. And told me to go fuck yourself, Seth Rogen. Fucking, hey guys, smoke a lot of weed.
You know what's
Fucking,
funny? I just saw a movie that he produced, not to get away from Runaway, but you mentioned Seth. It's called Cobweb. Have you?
I haven't heard of it.
Okay. It just came out recently. It's a really decent film. I mean, I was surprised. It's a very slow burn, last like 30 minutes or just all out chaos. But it was really short and sweet, which I like. 90-minute film, which is great.
Was it animated?
Oh no, it's a live action. Like it's a horror film.
There you go. If you put Seth Rogen with animation, that's when shit goes wrong. Sausage Party, Santa's Inc., this upcoming Turtles movie. That's the issue. Yeah, I think you are right. This is the only time Tom Selleck shoots a gun in the movie. That's interesting, though. But also, that's another thing why the Terminator made such an impact. I mean, the whole police shootout,
Hmm.
uh, police station sequence alone got people's attention. So then this was looked at as subpar, lesser fare, and then bad
Hmm.
word of mouth. Oh, I didn't help it, which is too bad
Yeah.
because I could just enjoy both movies.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, back then, if I was even alive, I would have definitely gone to have seen like all of these. I would have been so happy to see every one of them. I mean, it's something different, and you don't want to see the same thing over and over when you go to the movies. You want a new experience, and this is such a unique film. Like, I can't think of too many '80s movies like this, honestly.
Like this specifically, no. And yeah, that is Joey Kramer. So for folks out there, that's the kid who was starring the sci-fi Flight of the Navigator, which would be a few years after this. And no, it did not do well at the box office. Someone asked. No, it was a complete bomb.
Hmm. Um,
And it was
I,
late with disappointment because you have a budget, you got some big name actors like Tom Selleck, you got Michael
yep.
Crichton, who'd done Westworld, and it just did absolutely nothing. And the films he directed was Westworld, Coma, Looker, Runaway, Physical Evidence, The Great Train Robbery, the first Great Train Robbery. But he's more known for the novels based on his work, Jurassic
Hmm.
Park, uh, Disclosure, Congo,
Yeah,
Sphere, etc.
those films actually did pretty bad. Like, I think he had like 3 or 4 bombs in a row. So that's probably why he might have stepped away from the camera. Just focus on writing.
Yeah, that's true. This one and Physical Evidence was kind of the waning years of Burt Reynolds, 89.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he went to TV with the CBS show Evening Shade, which ran quite a few years. And that's where he found success again, Burt Reynolds. Yeah, the movie made $6 million. That's it. Came out December 1984, and the weekend it debuted at number 7. As for the other 6, once my internet opens up the page, I will tell you. Beverly Hills Cop, Dune, City Heat, 2010, Cotton Club, Starman, and then Runaway. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, even then, I don't know why it would debut at number 7. That does sound pretty sci-fi, Tom Selleck. Even if okay, bad word of mouth, maybe it drops down, but the debut at number 7, that just I don't know, maybe marketing, maybe I don't know.
Maybe it was the marketing.
Terminator. I mean, I don't know because I was maybe 1 year old
Hmm.
when the film came out, so I don't remember my 1 year self anything.
Terminator made about between 50 to 70 million, I believe. Maybe 70 million, something like that.
Yeah, I wanted to find that specifically. It's not showing here. Let's type it up. I don't know who owns this nowadays. I don't know who owns the TriStar stuff. Grossed 30 million in the U.S. Terminator, and 78 million worldwide.
Yep, 70 mil.
And
Yeah.
30 million is a lot back then when the budget was only 6 million, and ticket sales, there were what, $2, like probably $3 a ticket or something.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot
It's
of,
pretty good.
yeah, that's a lot of people going out to see that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but they lost money making this is the issue.
Oh yeah.
And I think the movie he did before and after this, they bombed.
Yeah, Looker and Physical Evidence with Michael Crichton. Yeah, but I mean, he made a lot of money. I mean, Steven Spielberg does your novel Jurassic Park, then you do The Lost World, and everyone wants a piece of Michael Crichton.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, made money off doing that. Hey there, Neopunk. And there's G.W. Bailey,
Yeah.
who's in a lot of stuff. He
Yeah.
was the asshole against our heroes in Police Academy,
Mm-hmm.
also in Mannequin.
Right. He's the
And
security guard. That's right.
yeah, and the Police Academy came back part 4. Just 2 and 3 was another guy who was the bad guy. And then Police Academy 4, I think to 7, G.W. Bailey was back. And he was in Short Circuit as well as the asshole too.
Right. Okay.
Another Steve Gutenberg. They teamed up again. Short Circuit, the first one. This is like one of the few he got to play like a good guy, at least in the 80s. He's not
Mm-hmm.
a bad guy here.
Yeah.
Actually, now I think about it, I might have seen this like it was taped, but might have been a TV version. Because I think when I first saw this, I did not see this scene, this bit here with the cement falling. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think in the TV version for time, they cut this whole scene out. I believe that was the case.
Okay.
But that's what would happen is that they would look to have more commercial time. Either it's too short, so they add in scenes for the TV edits, or not just violence. Like this wasn't a violent movie, so they didn't cut stuff out for that. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what this is rated.
It's got to be PG-13.
Yeah, so I had to find other stuff to cut. So I guess this scene here, which to me is an important scene, once again showcasing his fear of heights.
Yeah.
And he's got to pretty much go back to this place, this type of place by the end of the film.
Mm-hmm.
But
He's just gonna like police from the ground floor. It's like, all right, you go up and deal with the problem.
yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, you do all the work. I'll relax here. Give me some donuts. I'll relax down here.
Yeah.
Yep, you always these supervisors, exactly. Anytime you go by construction, there'll be one guy digging and there'll be 4 just supervising, just watching. And you wonder why it takes forever for a street to get done. It's
Yeah.
like one guy does it, and one guy's working the vehicle, and 5 people are just sitting there, standing there just with their arms like this watching.
Yeah.
Because they're supervisors. They're supervisors. So that it takes like 5 months to get a fucking road done.
Yeah, there's some construction like near me, and I swear they've been working on the same road for like a year. I'm like, you've already dug up the ground, just lay the concrete. Why is it taking so long?
Yes, I was 1 year old when this came out because I was born in '83. And Gene Simmons just had the right voice, the right persona to be a villain.
Yeah.
And like you said, he was in Wanted Dead or Alive.
Hmm.
He's been in other movies. He had a big role in Trick or Treat, which is coming out in 4K now,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
cool.
Hmm.
Uh, this one I didn't never saw, but it had John Stamos from Full House as a star, and it was oh, what was it? I'll find it real quick. It was like and Gene Simmons was like in drag.
I'm not sure what that is.
It's I'll get it real quick.
Okay.
I think Vanity is in it from Action Jackson. Never
Hmm.
Too Young to Die, 1986.
Okay.
Never Too Young to Die.
So that was the same year as the Rutger Hauer movie, right? That had to
Uh,
be the same year because I thought the movie with Rutger Hauer was 86.
just '86. I know it's The Hitcher. Rutger Hauer did.
Hmm.
One Day Alive is '87.
87. Okay.
Yeah. Got Bridge by Me. They're still working on it for almost a year. So that's the supervisors. This was this.
Yep. He's so good.
Oh yeah, you tell he's just having so much fun with this, and he doesn't need to yell or scream. He just got that look and that voice.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember Crichton saying like he just nailed it when he came in for the part. Like I think he was like, just don't talk for like a minute. Just give me like a look and
Yeah,
a stare, like be intimidating. And Michael Crichton was like, this, this is fantastic. Like he's like, you're a natural. Like he just had it. Who would have known? Like you never know until you try, I guess.
here we get the spiders.
Hmm.
So not only do they inject with the acid, they also burn the fuck out of you.
Yeah, they
Make
blow
sure
up.
you're dead.
Hmm.
No, that guy at the window, that's Chris Mulkey. He's been in quite a few stuff. I know he was in the Karen Allen film Ghost in the Machine
Yes.
from Rachel Talalay, the director of Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, and
Hmm.
Tank Girl. And he's been in a few other stuff, Chris Mulkey. After you burn someone's face, to have some coffee. It's just, you see the thing. Do you think, if, if not the marketing, do you think people wanted maybe just more of a iRobot, like Blade Runner type of world? Like they thought this was just too generic looking or something? I don't, but because that makes its own movie. But do you think maybe that's what audiences wanted?
I
Maybe, I don't know.
I think that maybe they wanted more action heavy set pieces. Um,
Yeah,
because any of the conflict in the movie that does happen, it's like, I mean, people die and stuff, but like it's more dramatic in a way. Like it's not really full on action.
right.
So maybe because so many of those sequences where it's supposed to be conflict, they're more subdued. It probably just didn't connect the way Crichton thought it would.
Yeah, I would say this is more of a science fiction film than an action film,
Yes, correct.
which I'm fine with because someone said, "Well, it doesn't beat the Terminator." Well, no one said it did. It just both can exist,
Hmm.
and both are good, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, here we get the we saw that gun. We don't get the heat seeker bullet, which I love the way that it's shot. It's very cool looking. The point of view,
Yeah.
following around the corners and stuff. Like I said, I'm not sure why they don't utilize that more in movies. If now it's even more of a real thing.
Hmm.
Why does that utilized more? So that's
Had
I
that
can't think of the last movie. Yeah, go ahead.
had that really been done up until this point with the POV of the bullet going around the corners and stuff? I don't remember that too much.
Like this,
Yeah,
not as much as I mean, the Evil Dead, like the point of view of the Force going through the woods.
right.
I mean, it's not like this, but I just like the point of view of the camera going around corners and stuff. Evil Dead and the original.
Hmm.
There you go.
Right in the back.
Yep, with your name on it.
They were heat seeking, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't it have hit her? Like it turned away
Well, I
from
think
her
it's
and then
like
went to him.
I think they
It's
mentioned some about your own heat signature. You're able to program it.
sort of
Like
like I
they're
come in peace with the electrical charge kind of thing. Remember, like he tunes the disc to the charge of the human body, and then the disc will like.
yeah, I think so. But I thought it
Mm,
said something like you could literally. I think there's a line like you could literally have the bull with your name on it. Like if you maybe program the exact heat signature, because each person will have a certain heat
mhm,
signature that it could follow right to him. I would assume maybe you could do both ways. If you want a specific person dead, you did his own heat. The signature will follow him. Because him killing the cops would do nothing. But then also you could have it. I would also assume like that's why later he has tuned to Tom Selleck's character.
mhm.
So I think that was the deal with it,
That sounds about
and
right.
that's why I moved away from her.
That's another thing. Retinal scan.
Yeah, was your take for granted as being typical, but it wasn't always typical, especially back then.
Right. Now, like every spy movie or anything like that's like a there's always a retinal scanner.
Let's see, look at the. Have you guys seen Michael Crichton's movie Coma? Yeah, I mean, I think Tom Selleck actually has a little brief cameo in that, which is probably how he first met Michael Crichton.
Right.
Uh, I remember not minding it. Michael Douglas and I forget who starred in the lead. Her name. I remember not minding the film, but at the same time, it's been forever since I've seen it, so I'm not freshly knowledgeable on it.
Yeah, it's been a long time. That was like late 70s, right? Coma.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is. Okay, that's what I thought. This guy here, who's the worker, this guy here on the left,
Mhm.
the Asian guy,
Mhm.
that was Data's father in the Goonies. That you
Okay.
see at the very end.
Mhm.
T. Hoi Kwan's dad in the Goonies. He was also in this fun Dolph Lundgren film called Army of One. Things during the scene where Dolph Lundgren goes in this chop shop and just Beetle John Woo type of action sequence, like best action scene in the movie. Just shoots all everybody, two guns ablazing, and he's one of the main bad guys in that scene.
Nice.
And yeah, Kirstie Alley of Look Who's Talking, Star Trek 2, Village of the Damned remake, among others.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, best Radnell Scanner scene is still Demolition Man.
Mm-hmm.
Be well. Yeah, you too.
Yeah. Please, no sequel to that. No, Stallone mentioned it a few times. I hope it doesn't happen.
No, you don't need a sequel. Jack Frost mentions Michael Crime was about future tech in his books. His publisher released one of his unfinished books called Micro, which is basically an X-rated version of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Okay. I don't know how the hell that works. Micro, okay. Yeah, I've never seen that one. I mean, I never read that one, I should say. Read that book. Yeah, Dumb Spell, that's right. Kroll came out the same year as well, in 1980. Well, actually, was that 83 or 84? And now I'm. Yeah, you mentioned Kroll, and now I'm trying to remember. Because I'm thinking, wait, wasn't that the year of Revenge of the Return of the Jedi? I can't remember. Yeah, okay, that was 83. I got confused, but I think I got confused because there's this one magazine that like crapped on this film and crapped on Crawl, and they like reviewed it at the same time, so I just assumed they were the same year, but like, whatever. It's like a sci-fi universe magazine. They just shit tasted movies, in my opinion. But that's why I stopped reading it, but
yeah, critically, this was not very well received either. Of course, I don't give a shit what they say, but I think
no.
more so back then that would sway the public opinion of what to go see and what not to see, what's good and what's not. And yeah, that didn't help anything either.
But they also, well, I don't know. I don't know what the critics want and don't want. Even to this day, I still don't know. Just some of the shit they give a pass, I go, why? And so I don't know. Like, you hated this movie, but you like this movie. I don't know.
Yep.
I always go back to this. I grew up with Siskel and Ebert. I liked a bunch of their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Die Hard did not get 2 thumbs up, but Speed 2 Cruise Control did. That says it all. Speed 2 got 2 thumbs up, but not Die Hard. There you go.
And to think that like their successor was remember it was Ebert and Roper for a while. And then
I do remember that.
Roper said Matrix Reloaded was better than the first one. So just let that sink in.
I mean, I like Reloaded.
It's not better than the first movie. No.
But that doesn't bother me too much because I like both movies. But
I'll never forget his
Speed
quote.
2
He
is
said,
one
rarely does like a sequel completely surpass the original. And that's like the most ridiculous statement ever. I don't hate the second movie, but it's like, no way, man. It's just not even close.
And Austin Wilcott, to answer your question, no, I don't have that.
I saw them both in the theater. Speed 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did I.
Honestly, I enjoyed both. I don't think the second movie was particularly good, honestly, because I mean, in a way, the first movie is a lot of schlock. I mean, it's kind of a schlock plot, but it works. Somehow they pull that shit off. Like the tension is
Oh, you're talking about
there.
Speed.
Yeah, the first one.
Okay,
Like
I thought you were talking about Matrix. So okay, no, I don't like
no.
both of them. I thought you were talking about Matrix, like 1 and 2. It's just okay, we're on Speed. Titties. Back in the day, even this film could have titties. There you go.
Yeah, you
Titties,
had to
titties, titties.
throw that in
No,
there.
Speed 2 I don't like. Speed 2 I love. I mean, Speed 1 I love. Speed 2 sucks ass. But
Right, yeah.
Speed 1 I love.
Yeah, the only
Did
thing that I
discombobulated.
get enjoyment out of this watching the second film now is William Dafoe, but I don't go out of my way to watch it. Um, but at the time in the theater as a kid, I was like, "Oh, this is great." As an adult, not so much.
So apparently the guns are 1911's Detonant's Speedmasters. Cool.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Like um, they went to semi-automatic like handguns. That's not what they were carrying in like '84. They were all like revolvers and shit like that. Like they didn't.
Okay.
That wouldn't become a thing until later. So that was another prediction that he got right.
Too bad, suckers. But they could bring that again, like another action film where you have a weapon like this, and just how could you counteract it? Like, be hard to get away from it. And
Hmm.
I guess maybe some people would view, could the bullet be that slow? Because bullet's trajectory is so fast.
Hmm.
Like the point of view, the camera can only go so fast, so it can't go as fast as a bullet. So maybe for some, is it viable to have a bullet go that slow compared to an actual bullet? On the flip side, if it's going around corners and stuff, definitely a different asset. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is from AV Club. This was an interview with Tom Selleck. He said it was a great popcorn movie, futuristic robots and all sorts of stuff. It was a nice movie. Didn't do well. It was a great disappointment that Michael Crichton became a friend. Gene Simmons was great. They had some great talks and good times. I know it sounds hokey, but with Michael Crichton at the helm, it was pretty good stuff.
There you go.
So, but again, like films like this, oh, we can't have the fucking, what's a movie? Flesh Eater and all this other stuff could get features and all these other movies. But
Yeah.
a film like this can't get a Blu-ray in the US and nothing on for features, but it's par for the course. Like the shittiest movies will get the best releases at times. Not all the time, but a lot of times. It's like,
Yeah. It's funny. We need like a. I mean, I get stuff from Vinegar Syndrome. I'm guilty. They do release some good stuff. Some stuff is so bad it's good. But in between all that, you have all the other really shit like that just never needs to see the light of day. So, but we need a reverse version of VS because like they're known for bad stuff. We need
yeah.
like a good version of VS where they're releasing good stuff like this that will probably never get a shot for release. I mean, I hope it does though. I mean, maybe Vestron could pick it up or somebody like that. But like you mentioned earlier, I don't know where the rights for this would be. I'm not sure who has it.
Because again, it was TriStar, and TriStar was part of Sony, but I don't even know. TriStar isn't really a thing nowadays, so I don't know. where a lot of those old titles went to. And yeah, The Legend of Body Tree 2 got very to release a lot of features. And Twist of the Blue Lights. People are like, what the fuck is that? It's Allie. You don't need to know. But it is what it is. So it says here that TriStar helped release films, like some of the films by Carolco, like Cliffhanger. Around summer 1998, merged Columbia and TriStar to form the Columbia TriStar Motion Picture Group. Some of the movies they released, like Stepmom, would go to his flagship label Columbia Pictures following the merger. TriStar was relaunched in 2004 as a marketing acquisitions unit. And just one of the releases was Elysium in 2013, that Matt Damon film.
Okay.
That did nothing. Same year, former co-chairman Tom Rothman joined Sony Pictures, created TriStar Productions as a joint venture. Supposedly developed, finance, and produced up to 4 films per year. But the thing is, you never hear of them. So I guess they're so under the radar, or they just went belly up, and this didn't want to update it. But yeah, that's one of the things I do like about this film. It is a bit more character driven, like this whole scene here where this whole surgery, he gets this explosive bullet out.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a bit more of a character driven scene.
Yeah. It's paced very well. I mean, you wouldn't even think we're an hour in, but we are pretty much. And it's been sequence after sequence.
Yeah. And lo and behold, you don't have a female who is telling that the guy is a piece of shit every 5 minutes. But yeah, she's a strong character.
Mm-hmm.
Here, she's courageous. She's dealing with the pain. She's not doing stupid stuff. She's not an airhead. She's not a fucking hitman-hating feminist like they would do nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, they'd have this scene and the whole scene be like, you piece of shit. You got me in this. You better fucking do this. You old fuck. Be like Phoebe Waller-Bridge in Indiana Jones 5. I don't take advice from an aging cop, as it'd be in this movie. Some aged grave robber, like that fucking dumbass character. Dial of dialysis, piece of shit. In my opinion.
I'm on the fence of watching that. I said I wouldn't, but like I almost want to see like how bad it is. Like that's more of my intrigue for it. But
Hey, if you want to see a 20-minute opening where 90% CGI and 80-year-old sounding Harrison Ford and a 30-year-old CG faced Harrison Ford with an 80-year-old voice.
I
You want
don't.
to see Phoebe Waller-Bridge in Short Round 2.0 just calling the Angels a piece of shit for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Well, 2 hours after the 20-minute opening. Be my guest. You want to see a bad guy get hit in the head in a sign with a sign on a speeding train, then come back years later and he doesn't have a scar on his face. He just got hit in the head with a sign, metal sign on a speeding train.
That's what always happens, though.
That always happens. There are critics that love that, but they hate a movie like this. Go figure. Yeah, the first, not to get off tangent, the first 20 minutes of Dial of Destiny, Harrison Ford CGI, because it's a CGDH face. He's on a motorcycle going to a train. The train is amongst CGI. When he's in the motorcycle, all around is CGI. There's a beginning bit where he's hanging and there's an explosion and he's hanging there. That's all CGI. When he gets on the top of a fucking train, and then there's like planes flying overhead and some guys die and the thing that's shooting the planes down, that's all CGI. It looks like a fucking cutscene from a video game. And people think the fourth one had too much. No, this was triple the CGI. I'm not even over exaggerating. I do feel it's like triple the CGI
Why do
of
they
Crystal
feel the
Skull.
need to like fill the frame? If it's one thing to have CGI, but why do you need to fill the entire frame with all these various moving parts of CGI? They think that's more
Because they
entertaining or
feel
something?
either they feel that's what the audience of today expects, or they think it looks good. They think I have a vision and this is a way to showcase this big sequence.
Mm-hmm.
They think people are dumb. I think they also think people are dumb and just will eat everything up. I really
That's
do
true
believe that.
too. That's a good point. Yeah, they don't think that their
That
audience is
director of The
smart.
Flash, the director of The Flash said, "Oh yeah, that CGI is bad on purpose."
Did he say
He literally said that.
that?
Yes, the CGI is
What?
bad on purpose. He literally said that. The director of The Flash. That's how they view you, the audience.
Wow. So it's the exact opposite of the opening of Raiders, basically.
Yes. Yes.
That's awful.
In my opinion, yes. And it would have been better if it was a Pixar movie because I don't love all their movies, but they have a better track record than Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
I love Wall-E. Anyway. And this is a good father-son pieces of business. Like this, you can't make the kid too annoying or irritating, which thankfully they don't. He's not annoying. He's
Mm-hmm.
not irritating. Because not to be rude, there's a lot of movies where there's some really annoying little assholes. The characters, it's not their fault, but just the way
I
they're
know what you mean.
directed and the
Mm-hmm.
way they're written. I don't know if you could think of any like kid performances, cringe.
The
Is there
Babadook
any?
always comes to mind. The kid in the Babadook is
I,
just
I still haven't seen that,
he's the most annoying
but
kid ever. I that drove me fucking crazy because like I'm trying to like follow what's going on and be on board with it and take that leap of like, okay, like I see what they're doing. Let's see if this connects. But the kid is so fucking annoying throughout the entire film, and there's never like an end to it. That's what I liked about Cobweb because the film is centered on a kid and he's actually likable and you kind of feel bad for him the entire film. All the stuff he has to go through. They get into a little bit of the technical aspect of the projectile right here.
yeah, this is when they find out it's
Mm-hmm.
heat signature. But yeah, there's a lot of kids that I have not minded their performance. I actually like the kid in Over the Top, David Mendenhall. This kid here, Jory Kramer, I liked him in this and Fly the Navigator. This is, I mean, Macaulay Culkin in the first Home Alone. There are
Mm-hmm.
Dakota Fanning and Man on Fire. Like, there's kid performers that do a good job.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of Jake Lloyd's. I don't want to be too harsh on him because I know he went through a lot of stuff, but he was bad in The Phantom Menace. And they had a way to cast where there's a test screening. There was a kid who was a much better actor, but they didn't go with him for some reason. That still dumbfounds me to this day. And there you go.
He wasn't Lucas approved.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How he takes his like that's how you take your mugshot.
I also like GW Bailey's like, you think he's interested in a piece of ass?
Yeah.
Nowadays, you probably wouldn't be allowed to say any of that because it'd be too sexist or something.
Hmm.
You know, they go into all that bullshit. Stupid bullshit. I will say this is the one scene I don't think you need in this film because it goes nowhere. This, I don't know, she thinks she's gonna poltergeist like this house is clear. This bullet is clean. Like it goes nowhere. There's really no reason for this. Like I love the film, but there's no. I don't even know why this scene is in it. It is.
Hmm.
Thankfully, this is the only time she's in. It's not like Jeepers Creepers where the second lady just decides
Right.
to pop in whatever the fuck.
Hmm. And
Although she fucking
it's not that
sucks at her
long
job.
either. Like it's
Yeah.
it's like a couple minutes.
It's not like Jeepers Creepers where she sucks at her job. It's like, you want to give
Yeah,
some
that's right.
details so they don't die?
Exactly. Like
Like,
that's your job. The one gift you have and you can't even use it right.
why is there so many psych kits are so poor? Like they can't win the lottery. But all the other shit they get psyched about. You're so
Yeah.
goddamn. You must not be good at your job. You can't even guess the numbers of the lottery. What kind of psychic are you, Miss Cleo? She was always asking for money. If you're so goddamn good, why the fuck do you keep asking people for money, Miss Cleo? With the voodoo accent, man. I don't even know if she was really Jamaican. She just have that little accent, Miss Cleo. For those who remember back in the day, late at night, you would just be filled with those fucking promotions of,
Oh yeah.
tell me, man, you need to call us Miss Cleo. I will tell you your future. Like, why do you need my money? You're psychic. You should fucking know this already.
Right.
Not a sack of shit.
I should have like prank called that number back in the day just to see what would happen.
I don't know. No, I don't know what happened to Miss Cleo. I don't know what happened to her. Someone's like, was she in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas? That'd be hilarious if she was.
She might have been. Who knows?
To be fair, Sally, she passed away in 2016, but
Mm.
wonder if she guessed that. Sorry.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know.
They're gonna get you again, Matt.
It just, I don't know if I really buy into sidekicks. And if that's the case, I think there are some people that prey on people's open mindedness or ignorance for money. Like, if she
Mhm.
was a real psychic, okay, but I don't really buy into that stuff. And if that's the case, then it's just manipulating people out of their money. And I don't know. It's like kind of con artist type of thing. At least that's just the way I look at it. Because again, it's fun to see it in movies, psychics and stuff. I just don't buy it in real life. I just don't. I guess
Mhm.
I'm just a skeptic on that. Because like I said, I mean, I'm joking, but I'm also being serious. If you're so damn psychic, then how come you don't know all these other things? How come you don't know? How come you can't? You're so rich or anything of the sort. I don't know. That's just me though.
She can. That's her power. She can only tell you about your life. That's the catch.
Ah, of
That's why
course.
you call in for a free reading. A free reading.
You're free for the first minute.
Yeah. those late night infomercials. It's like that and like
There's a
all
video.
the all
Yeah,
the fucking Girls Gone Wild shit. You remember those?
I do remember that. Which I never understood the point of it, because if I really want that, there's other things you would get other than that. I'll
Mhm.
just put it that way. I'll steal J Reel's tablet. But if you want that type of stuff, you'd want to get that type of stuff.
Mhm.
Like, what was the point of Girls Gone Wild? Like, if you think about it, like, okay, they
Barely
show
legal
the titties,
entertainment. That's what it was. That was the selling point.
right? There's a video of Orson Welles explaining how psychics are frauds. I bet. Uh, Mark has seen Oppenheimer. He loved it. I have not seen the film.
Yes.
And favorite X-Files season, I don't know. Might be around maybe 3 or 4. Yep. Take everything off.
Yeah, that's right. Just stripped down. I guess Kirsty was like, I'm not showing any skin. Get a body double.
Yeah, in a way, that butt detector is kind of the metal detectors. The
Hmm.
scan, the metal detectors, that type of stuff that you
Hmm.
see much more common. People just walking in the machines, all that stuff.
Yeah, which almost doesn't do any good because now you have ghost guns. So you can pretty much get around the metal detectors.
That plastic or
They're the ghost guns are the ones that have no like serial number or filing, and you make them on a 3D printer, and
mm,
you print them and like they fire and they work like real guns, but the
what's
street name is
what's the
like ghost gun.
material? Is
I,
it
I
3D printed? But what's the
I think some of it is. I mean, they already had like the plastic Glock and stuff like that. Those already
yeah,
existed anyway. But yeah,
yeah.
it's probably some sort of plastic.
Mm. And we have like a plastic knife as well. It's plastic switchblade.
It's your prison shank. That's what it is.
So it's about the psychic Hunt 100. I use the power for the stock market and betting. You think this? You think that's what I think they would use it for if they were real psychics? Stock market and betting.
Hmm. That's what I would do.
I think it's moments like this what I liked about it. This is a unique type of car chase. I've
Hmm.
seen so many car chases throughout so many years. Okay, this is a different take on it, which I like the little drone stuff being used.
Yep.
Nowadays, the drones would be like flying in the air, but even then, you couldn't really do that with effects in '84 anyway. So
Hmm.
at least this is done for real in camera.
Yeah.
I like the POV of on the road.
Yeah. And then the digital like map out of everything on the windshield and stuff, which technically
Yeah,
you can do now. Um,
really.
well, not technically. Like, so you have like the Google glasses and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
it sort of maps everything out, and then you can have maps like right in front of you. You can open Google Maps on it and other stuff. There's other apps you can open with it. And I think the
Yeah,
Apple
that's cool.
glasses have that as well.
Which I don't know why. I mean, Do you really need that shit on your glasses? Like right in front of you? I mean, I want some distance, with the phone and stuff at least.
Yeah.
Not right in my face here, like that way. I
Yeah,
mean, if you're busy doing that, someone could just come up and twat you in the face or something.
well,
I'm busy
it's a
watching.
form of like augmented reality. So with
Yeah,
virtual, you're just in the virtual space, but because it's augmented, you can
yeah.
see everything like in your peripheral vision, as well as like seeing through the lenses. So
Well, I
it's
just mean it seemed like it'd be
transparent.
much more distracting,
Oh yeah,
like compared
definitely.
to just.
Hmm.
I will say the screens on the windshield reminds me a bit like Star Wars, like when they're
Hmm.
getting the TIE fighters and trying to get.
Yeah.
And yeah, Silver Wings. Yeah, I remember that quote in Die Hard 2. That pumple, the Glock 7 on me. You know what this is? Portugal, Main Germany. It doesn't show up in your airport X-ray machines. It costs more than you make here in a month. Right
Yep.
to Dennis Franz. You get the fuck out of my airport. We'll set up the metal detector first. The lead in your ass or the shit in your
Your
brain.
brains, yeah.
Oh, yeah, in the Line of Fire 3D printed gun John Malkovich had. Forgot about that.
But at this point, the technology is obsolete now. You can make pretty much anything you want on a damn 3D printer. It's insane.
Yeah.
That was a fun sequence, though, with the
Yeah.
self-driving car. Would you get in one of those self-driving cars?
Um, sure. I mean, yeah, I'd be open to it, to trying it out. I mean, as long as there's a seatbelt and other stuff to somewhat safety, sure. I'd give it a try. Fuck it. I mean, I've survived a car crash, so already know how it is
As have
in
I.
the backseat. So I already know what to expect. And if it happens, I have a lot of people to sue, so I'll get a shitload of money.
Did you
So
flip?
yes, the
Same
car
here.
was here, and then the next minute it was in the ditch and here, looking towards the road. And my glasses disappeared. This eyeball was cut. One of these eyeballs was cut,
Hmm.
so I had to put drops in it, otherwise it would go blind. I forget which eyeball it was. It's been so long. And there you go.
Yeah, I walked away unscathed. Like my shoulder has like it, it clicks a little. It's not quite as good as it should
Mm.
be, but it doesn't give me any problems. Um, Other than that, like I'm fine. I think it was just because I was in a Wrangler that it took
Okay.
it got most of like the impact of the car. I got T-boned and then they flipped me over.
Mm.
Yeah, so you can imagine how fast they were going. That was a car. I drive a Wrangler Unlimited. They flipped me. It was nuts.
So wait, they T-bone you? That's why
Yeah.
they.
They crashed into my
Jesus.
driver's side door
Yeah.
and I flipped.
So okay, if this is the driver's side and it hits you,
Hmm.
uh, okay, this is your car.
Yeah.
Did it lift the driver side up like this to go
Yes.
upside down? Like
Yep.
did it? Okay, like this. Okay,
Hmm.
and you were upside down.
Yeah. And I
Okay,
slid like down the road.
Jesus.
And the impact for them was so hard. Like they, it's like for them, it's like hitting a brick wall. So they spun out and went into the oncoming lane and hit two other cars. Yeah.
Did you ever find out what the hell their deal was?
They were liars. They tried to get away with
Oh,
saying that it was my fault. I'm like, I have no front end damage to my vehicle. How is it my fault? I didn't hit anyone. You hit me and you spun out and hit other people. So it was a long situation.
yeah,
I got paid though, which was nice. So I just went out and bought another another Wrangler, a brand new one. So it was all good.
cool.
And I almost forgot that like they killed Kirsty in that scene. I didn't
Yeah,
remember that like for a minute there, which
definitely
you
brings
don't
good
really see
memories to the
coming.
bad guy.
And like that
No,
was very unexpected.
exactly. That's the last we see Kirstie Alley in this. Rest in peace to her.
Yeah.
So this that one guy looked like had a afro. That one police officer like a good old afro
Yeah.
cop. That's a cool looking like shotgun, I believe. Sally doesn't use it, but I
Mhm.
like the look of that shotgun.
Yeah.
See, now they won't even. That lady's wearing a skirt. Now that would be labeled sexist. You can't wear a skirt, cop. Why not? Looks good.
Yeah.
Probably feels good to her. I think she gets fucked up. I think. Say the spiders again. I always like those little
Mm.
spiders with the acid. I think that's another interesting touch.
Yes.
That's the thing. You have movies like give you enough intriguing little touches to make you feel like its own. I don't think you see a lot of that nowadays. I think a lot of things this seems more generic. Maybe that's just
Mhm.
me, but sci-fi or horror or they seem more generic. Been there, done that.
Yeah, the creativity is definitely not there. I mean, when you look at so many things throughout this movie that they did that was ahead
Ooh,
of its time and actually became
shit.
stuff that we use and things that happen, other than maybe the spider, of course. um, it's mind blowing, honestly.
Well, thank you, Seko, but I appreciate it. No problem with work, yeah. Anyways, I always liked the film. Think Crichton is as good director as he is a writer personally. Yeah, between Westworld and this one, yeah, they did. He did a pretty good job. And but sadly, the flop of this and Burt Reynolds' film Physical Evidence pretty much said no more to directing. But hey, he got
Mhm.
paid a lot to write a lot of novels and had a lot of movies made based on his books.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I like Jurassic Park. Fuck it, I'll say here, I like Congo. I know nobody else does. I
Dude,
like
I
Congo.
love Congo. It's awesome.
Well, we're alone because most people hate shit. I think Ernie Hudson's badass. You got Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Delroy Lindo. Stop eating my sesame cake. Yeah, badass gorillas punching people's heads off. Pretty
Mhm.
much. I mean, to Tim Curry, squishes his head. Bruce
Yeah.
Campbell in a
Bruce Campbell.
cameo. Ernie
Mhm.
Hudson being a badass, using diamonds to laser off gorilla arms. And
Yep.
pretty bloody movie for PG
Yeah.
13. I love
Mhm.
Congo. Lois, you bitch, you fired. Literally fired. You failed. You did a shit job. You're supposed to be watching the kid. Literally, like shitty record player.
Dude, I was just thinking that. I was gonna say it's like a stereo system, like with
Yeah.
or a jukebox with like a VCR on top.
Although, I mean, hell, since AI, it's funny we're doing this, and AI is. I mean, this isn't. Well, I guess. Well, it's not really AI, but well, I guess yeah, supposed to be somewhat intelligence, I guess, in a way, programmed, I should say. I'm just saying with AI in the news all the time, who knows if this will be a possibility? I mean, you already have everybody uses except uh, the thing. Hey, you call to it ask for information.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh,
The chat thing.
yeah, I'm trying to think what. Can't believe I can't remember what the hell it was called. So many people use it. That's SETI. Hey,
What, Siri?
currently, but yeah, Siri.
Okay.
I'm so out because I never used it. I never have a need to use it, but Siri is now everyone's using that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That in ways doing stuff like this. Turn the lights on, turn the lights off, look up this information, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which one knows how much? And Alexa as well, yeah. Alexa, Siri.
Mm-hmm.
A few more steps, it would be this.
I mean, they already have like the actual robots with AI programmed in, and then you can talk to them.
Hmm.
So they have those already, and they can hold conversations. They have a sense of humor. They have facial motion, like when they talk and they think about stuff, they'll look away and do
Is this
that.
just at a
So
institute where they're testing it, or?
yeah, a bunch of scientists. I mean, if you go on Instagram, there's a lot of clips. I'll send you a few of them.
Hmm.
It's
Okay.
it's really far gone now. Like they're so far ahead of where I thought they would be at this point.
Yeah. She probably wouldn't answer. They're all spying.
They also have the dolls for those lonely guys out there that want like a sex doll. They have the ones that can move and talk and stuff. I don't know if you've seen those. I'm like,
No.
no, like we don't need that. Like that's just gonna create more of a like degenerative like society.
So wait a minute. There's a sex doll that talks and what?
Moves, reacts. I'm gonna send it to you right after this is over.
Oh,
I'll
great.
send
I
you the
make
clip.
sure I have my fucking headphones on.
It's
So
nothing offensive on it though.
I would assume, I guess they moan and stuff too. You would, I guess,
um,
if they're reacting.
maybe the like demo
Let's
reel that I saw,
almost what they're
they just
screaming
like
in
greet you.
pain.
It's like the girlfriend experience kind of thing. They greet you when you come home. Talk
Who
about
wants that?
that. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna send
How
you
about
the
you
link.
have the
It's awful.
doll
It's
and she
funny.
screams, "My ass, my ass."
If you
Just
wanted to, you
don't put it.
can. Because like there's like programs and things like you can put into it, like so you can make it have a certain type of personality.
Oh my god.
Yep, this exists. It's a real thing.
Hey there, Drew. I walked up to the chat. Yeah, I know we're talking about
Sex
sex
dolls.
dolls, but we're watching an underrated '80s film called Runaway, and we're talking about robots and AI. And Marq here was telling me about how there's robots that talk to you, robots convert conversations, sense of humor, and even robots that will fuck. Well, you have to fuck them, but I don't want any of those. Yes, I like this a lot more than Megan. I'm not a fan of Megan.
Yeah, I love all
Talking
the
about robot.
the sparks in this scene. It's a nice little
Yeah,
touch.
yeah. I always enjoy this finale. I think it's a cool. The sparks give a bit more character. Your
Mhm.
hero versus your villain. Your hero has something to fight for, which is his kid. His kid's in trouble. It ratchets up a bit of the tension, and it just put more and more danger onto the hero. He's afraid of heights, so he's got that to overcome. He got his son in danger. He's
Mhm.
got, and even the bits of the sparks. You have the gun there. You have the spider bots. There's more and more of your lead character to overcome.
Yeah.
And I said both actors doing their jobs well. And try to make it make sense. Like, okay, why does Gene Simmons not shoot him? Because he wants Tom Selleck to see his kid get killed.
Mhm.
So that's why he's not shooting right then and there. Cynthia Rhodes, previous scene, she hears a bit of the conversation, so that's how she's able to arrive there. Each hero has her moment to shine. Cynthia Rhodes saves the kid, but you let the main hero get his moment to shine, trying to fuck up Gene Simmons. And then on top of that, his tripling the way he got on the Runaway Squad is because of, I think the story was someone had murdered someone, and there's this place he couldn't get to, and the guy got away and maybe killed another or so, and always blame himself for it. But they would overcome that phobia when you have to. And why does it not him? Hey, put up more heat, more steam.
Yep.
So hide a bit of his heat. And they said the sparks. I mean, imagine being in there in the middle of that getting burned up. That's for real, folks. There's no seizure or nothing.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like when you look at the world of today, and you stuff like this exceeds more because I feel more of the person in danger going through all this stuff physically,
Mhm.
tangible. Like you feel like he's getting burned, all this stuff. Not just as 90% CGI like in Angels 5 and other stuff. Just makes it much more relatable to the viewer.
Yep.
But I've been talking a lot. What do you feel about this whole sequence?
Um, honestly, I'm so into it right now. Uh, it's got some really cool moments. I like how Rhodes comes in. Um, as a kid, I remember being I'm like, what's gonna happen to this kid? There's no way he can fight off the spiders. Then she comes in, um, and Simmons is just killing it. I mean, he's doing so little. Like it's not over
Yeah.
the top. He doesn't have a crazy like huge like it's not an inferno or something. There's sparks. It's kind of in a way reminiscent of the first Terminator, where you have the machines like sort of moving around in that final sequence, and they're providing some
Mm-hmm.
sort of a distraction. So there is a parallel there that I do appreciate. I'm sure that wasn't he wasn't copying it or anything, just happened to be like that. And then this whole
Yeah.
sequence with the elevator, um, it's putting him in a position where look at the heights. Like this is probably as high as like he's ever been, other than being in like a helicopter. Then you have the spiders coming. It's like the ultimate test for like the hero character. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. And you put the hero in a predicament that he can't just walk away. He can't just
Exactly.
do anything.
Hmm.
He's very limited to where he could do. And the director reminding the viewer again and again just how high they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have that cityscape background. Because the director didn't know what he was doing, that could all be just black as, oh, it'd be easier, just have it nighttime. But no, have the cityscape to just show how
Mm-hmm.
high they are.
I like how he just shakes off the acid. It's like, oh, I'll just shake it off. It's just a little acid on my cheek.
It's the little things, like even just that
Mm-hmm.
needle right into the hand, like kind of visceral reaction. Yeah, I guess it's a pretty mild acid, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Maybe it's the acid in sodas. Maybe it's the, what's it called? The sort of, there's some kind of thing, citric acid or something.
Oh yeah, citric acid. Yeah.
That's the acid it was. Yeah, citric acid. I think those inspired the Spider Bots and System Shock game. Never played System Shock. I've heard of it, but I've never played it. I know there's a remake recently. Never played that either. Maybe. You never know what gets inspiration. I mean, what was I heard about Doom? Like originally the Doom game was supposed to be Aliens the game. It was going to
Hmm.
use the assets of Aliens, and then they couldn't get the rights to it, so it became they did their own thing. It was Doom.
He's just waiting right there.
Yeah, Neil Pudge, it's my favorite Tom Selleck film. It would be my personal favorite because I like the sci-fi aspect. It was nice to see him play this type of role. I love Three Men and a Baby as well. So
What
it's
about the
between those
sequel?
two. No, Three Men, Little Lady. No, I could never get into that. Not for me. That's one of those kids that is just very, very annoying. Like we were talking about before. That's an
Mm-hmm.
example of that.
Now, what do you think about Luther right here? Like, should it have been something more, or was this like spot on? Was this good enough? The sort of the death at like hands of all the spiders.
Well, the spiders are such a. They're definitely. If people remember the film, they remember the spiders. So you have them killed by something memorable. Also, it seems like a very painful death. What
Yeah.
we've seen what one spider can do, but multiple spiders. And then it's a slow death because he tries to wake up in a little bit, and then it bursts into flames.
Mm-hmm.
So even now, his death isn't complete. Uh, yeah, it didn't bother me. I probably would have added maybe Tom Selleck getting a few punches in, maybe punching him, knocking him off,
Mm-hmm.
like giving Gene Simmons a bloody nose, and then maybe a bit old good old punch off the thing towards the spiders. That way
Yeah.
he'd be dazed, so he couldn't get up so quickly, and then the spiders get on him. So there's a reason why he's he's dazed. He's been fucked up by Magnum PI.
Yeah. Or
Maybe that's
just
the only thing I would add, but
one final shot to the head, maybe with the heat-seeking missile.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's still killed by his own creation, and
Yep.
still, burst into flames. I think that was a nice added touch. The burst into flames coming up
Mm-hmm.
by all of them, like all of them explode.
Yeah.
I think when I first saw this movie as a kid, I assumed that the burns on the side was from that acid, but then I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh no, it's from the steam stuff. But I guess as a kid, I'm not paying enough attention, so I thought the burns on the side is from the acid, and that's what affected it. But then I realized later, oh, it's from the all the sparks and stuff.
Hmm.
The acid might have affected a little bit as well,
That's what I always thought. It was a little bit of the
and
acid.
that might have been as well. Do you guys wish this film was rated R at least? I mean, sure, it would have been fine. I mean, I like the way the film is. It would not have helped the box office, but
No.
what, would I have minded? No, I would not have minded. But you know, I still like the film as is.
Yeah. It's like now he's of course he's got to pay her attention now because Kirstie Alley's gone. Because he was like hot for her for like all of 20 minutes before she's gone.
But yeah, I mean, no disrespect to Kirstie Alley, but I think this is the better choice, at least to me, my own personal taste. Although maybe we should get the fuck out of these sparks so we don't burn. It's
Yeah.
hurting. These sparks, they probably hurt like some bitch. Can we maybe leave and not be here? Can we go somewhere without burning up and going down
Yeah.
our shirt?
He's already
Because I
taken
don't
the
know.
acid in the face. He's good.
I don't know if I want to have a bunch of sparks rain down on my parade and on my skin. It's not the most romantic place, but it's a cool
Right.
visual. I will say that's why he did it. It is a cool
Hmm.
visual to end the film on. So,
It's his blowout moment. I remember that scene in Blowout with Travolta,
oh yeah,
the spinning can't well, I mean it's not rotating here, but still the fireworks in the background, the sparks in the
right,
background. Similar aesthetic.
yeah. Jory Kramer's waiting in the car for them. Like, where are they? Why are they taking so long? But I don't blame Tom. He's like, fuck it, I earned this.
Yeah.
I'll just sit through as long as I can. Because I gotta go to the hospital and who knows when the next time. So I'm gonna take my time here.
Right.
Fuck yeah. Take care, Video Master, and also, yeah, it's
Oh,
too bad it
later.
flopped. I would have been curious of a sequel
Hmm.
to see more of the story of this world. I think you could do even more world building.
Yeah.
Um, all sorts of runaways that could happen and be showcased. Maybe this was a big hit. Maybe they get a bigger budget. Maybe they choose what to go with the rating and all sorts of stuff. Maybe even a
Hmm.
different director. Who knows? I don't know who would
Yeah.
have directed it, but
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
I mean, sorry. Yeah, go
there,
ahead.
there's just a whole other side to the potential of all the technology and stuff that's here. I mean, you know that there's a lot more going on.
Mhm.
Like I'm sure Luther wasn't. like the highest like
Right.
guy in the when it comes to that technology. I'm sure he wasn't the end all be all.
I imagine like you had like Paul Verhoeven's Runaway. That'd be crazy.
So that'd be fantastic. That's what I would love to see.
But yeah, that is Runaway. That is the end of the film. Sadly, there's no features or anything. Uh, Again, doesn't really have a much release in the US. The Blu-ray I have is that technically overseas, and there's no features on it. And I guess any final thoughts from the chat? Any final thoughts you have? Anything of the sort?
Um, Overall, I will just say it's worth getting that big 4K deluxe edition. I hope it happens. Um, Unfortunately, we can't get Crichton now because he's passed away. I think he passed away like was 2008 maybe. So that's unfortunate. So I would really love to hear his thoughts on like just looking back so far back on this. This is such a I might say it's one of his best movies. I mean, I can't remember one of them, but from the ones that I do remember, this is my favorite. This is the one I rewatch the most. Um,
Yeah.
if anyone did ask, I mean, this is what I would recommend. I would recommend stuff like Congo, but I mean, that wasn't him. Just the
Yeah.
material. But yeah, it still holds up for me. I mean, I think people would be in awe just of how much like he did get um, right, like how our technology would sort of become commonplace in the household. It would become the thing that we would rely on for so many people, especially. It's a must. I know certain people can't go like a day without their phone or their tablet or the internet in general. So yeah.
Yeah, the movie was ahead of its time in more ways than one would think. So, like you said, even to the guns that are used by the cops, which weren't typical of that time, to the usage of drones, whether
Mhm.
to look into a situation before humans go in, and the heat-seeking bullets, and all sorts of the robotic nature. Again, the fat is done sort of a down and dirty approach, makes it more relatable, kind of more in a weird way realistic.
Mhm.
Uh, Tom Selleck and Gene Simmons are great. Yes, I would love a Tom Selleck commentary or at least an interview, on-screen interview.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Mhm.
But yeah, do a commentary. Let us host it. We'll ask you questions, Tom.
Oh, I'd
Uh,
have a million questions. Uh,
uh,
Unfortunately, you
yeah,
probably wouldn't be able to remember everything, but I'd still keep
yeah.
needling away at them. Like, what about this scene and that scene, and what was Crichton like on the set? Like, I want to know it all. So
But
hopefully that
it's a
happens.
fun. Yeah, yeah. Like you said, I would love for it to get released. I would love, you mentioned 4K things of that nature. Like I say, it doesn't even have a Blu-ray. I mean, for people in the US, the best you get is on a DVD or maybe watch on a streaming service. That's it.
Hmm.
And Sally, this doesn't have a cult following, so it probably won't get any release anytime soon because you never hear anyone talk about it. We're
You
probably
would
the only person.
you
Yeah,
would think this
go ahead.
would have one, right? Like, isn't that a bit odd? Like, it's the
Yeah,
perfect kind of movie to have one. Is it still
the
just
cult
that
following. Yeah.
underseen? You think?
Well, yeah. I mean, number one, the only time people can find is either DVD or streaming, and streaming is so cluttered with a million movies. How
Yeah,
many movies come out a week on Netflix or other type of streaming services? So,
this is true. Yeah.
and people, younger people look at this and go, "This looks cheap. It looks old. Why is it not? Where's the CGI?
Hmm.
Why they be so stupid to go, that CGI is bad when it's not CGI, it's practical." Or
Yeah.
where's the superhero movie? Is it a superhero movie? Or I know not all young people feel that way, but and also the people who do talk about it think it sucks. We're probably the only commentary, and if not, we're the only one that's definitely positive about the film. So
Hmm.
not a lot of people like the film. So teach their own. Don't love fucking Bo is Afraid and all these other bullshit movies. A24 does.
I like how you just
Uh,
pulled that one out.
yeah, they don't seem to play this movie on TV as much as they did in the 90s. There's a lot of movies that don't play it much on TV because they know that the streaming services are taking over, so they just want to get what hopefully will be the most eyes on their screen,
Hmm.
so to speak.
Yeah.
Nah, Arrow Video would never make a 4K of this. I think it's just underseen. I mean, I don't know. I would love to be surprised. I'll say that. I would love to be surprised. I hope so, but we'll see.
Yeah, me too. Um, maybe somebody like Kino. I could see maybe Kino
Maybe.
doing it. Back in the day, I would have said like Shout Factory or Scream Factory, but we see where their priorities are lately, so not gonna go there.
Yeah, re-releasing stuff they already released, but on 4K.
Hmm. Yep.
So with that said, unless anyone has any last questions in the chat, we will see you guys down the road.
Hmm.
And yeah, Creepshow 3 4K. That's what Stream Factor is doing. Exactly.
I forgot about
But
that until he brought that up.
yeah. Which that's done because of the name recognition, not because of the quality. And that's why people have heard of Creepshow more than say Runaway or something like that. So
Hmm.
it is what it is. So that said, thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and we will see you guys down the road.
Later.